everyone, welcome to Mr. Yu's Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing Glass, directed by M. Night Shyamalan and starring Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, and Samuel L. Jackson. Now this film follows the films Unbreakable and Split, and also follows the characters established in those films, such as David Dunn, played by Bruce Willis, Elijah Price slash Mr. Glass, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Kevin Wendell Crumb, played by James McAvoy. And these characters are put into a psychiatric facility by Dr. Ellie Staple because these characters kind of have super abilities, and if you've seen the last two films, that is true. But the doctor looks at it as a disorder and it's just all in their heads. And that's kind of like a non-spoilery overview of what the film's about. First, let's talk about the acting. Bruce Willis reprises his role as David Dunn from Unbreakable. And if you've seen Unbreakable, you'll know that his superpower is that he's very strong. He can, bend steel and lift a lot of weights, and also that if he touches someone, he can sense if they've done anything bad or not. And the thing I liked about his acting is that if you watch Unbreakable and Glass back to back, it feels like the same character. It feels like the same mood in a way, which it's probably hard for an actor because Unbreakable came out 19 years ago, so it's great that he can still hold a character that he didn't play for a long time. And the same goes for Samuel L. Jackson. He reprises his role as Elijah Price, whose bones are very brittle and they can break very easily. But his kind of superhuman thing is that he's very smart, and he's kind of like the evil mastermind of this whole film. And we haven't seen him for 19 years since Unbreakable. So I think he plays the role very well, and it's just the same thing as Bruce Willis. It must be hard for an actor not playing a role for 19 years, and he just got back into it and it felt like the same character. But the standout of this film is James McAvoy as Kevin Wendell Crumb. And if you've seen Split, that's when his character first shows up. He has 24 different personalities, one of which is very, very strong. And you can't really kill him. He's really muscular, and it's only when he gets this personality is when he gets muscular. So it was really exciting to see David Dunn and Kevin Wendell Crumb, or the Beast, come face to face. But anyway, James McAvoy played the role amazingly. I think it might even be Oscar worthy, because in a way he's just playing actually 24 different characters, 20 of which are shown, so 20 different characters in this film. And he just does it so amazingly. They all feel like different characters in the same body. So I really think he did an outstanding job in this film. Also, Sarah Paulson does a fine job in this film as Dr. Ellie Staple. This is the first time we see her character, so we kind of get to know her, and I think she plays the character well. There's nothing really outstanding, but she doesn't do a bad job at all. I believed her as this doctor who was trying to treat these three main characters and trying to prove them that they just have a condition that makes them think they're a superhero or supervillain even. Also, three more actors who did a very fine job and who also reprised their roles from the past films. They are Spencer Treat Clark, who plays Joseph Dunn, David Dunn's son. It was great to see him all grown up since 19 years have passed since Unbreakable. Anya Taylor-Joy, who plays Casey Cook from Split, and Charlene Woodard, who plays Elijah's mother. And you know, they all reprised their roles well, and I think they did a great job too. Let's move on to the directing and cinematography. Now, M. Night Shyamalan, who's the director of this film, let's just say his career is quite interesting. He started out with such an amazing film, The Sixth Sense, which I like. I think that's a big classic. And you know, Unbreakable, which I love, and even Signs, which I think is pretty good. But after those films, his movies kind of, they kind of lacked what made the other films really good. And you know, his career was just going downhill, and then it was at a point where when his next movie was coming out, I wasn't too excited. But when Split came out, it was just really exciting because it's part of the Unbreakable universe, which is a film that I love from him. And with this film, he directs it pretty, pretty cool, and there's some great shots. With like, it shows the big room. One of my favorite shots, which also has to do with the cinematography, which I'll get into, is just the three characters sitting, and then you just see the room behind them. It kind of brings you into the film. And leading to the cinematography, I think it's outstanding. If you've seen Unbreakable and Split, you'll know that each character has a distinct color. For David Dunn, it's green. For Elijah Price, it's purple. And for Kevin Wendell Crumb / the Horde, and he's called the Horde because he has many different personalities, it's yellow. And it's, you know, whenever like one of those characters are in a scene, their color, like the room, the room is what color that represents them. Now I have one problem with this film, and it's something that really brought the film down for me. It lowered my grade that I was gonna give it, and that's with the ending. It was interesting, and I'm actually quite fine with the ending. I see how M. Night Shyamalan was thinking on how to end this whole trilogy. But as a viewer, I was slightly disappointed because it didn't deliver what we were expecting. And sometimes, you know, changing expectations is good as long as it's something the viewer will still, you know, enjoy or will still be shocked about. But I think for this film, many viewers and audience members are just going to be very dissatisfied, and it might ruin the whole film for them. In the end, I'm fine with the ending, but it still brought the film down because I was just expecting something else. All in all, I thought Glass was enjoyable for the most part. It had some very well done acting, especially from James McAvoy. It had some cool directing and some great cinematography, which I think was a highlight of the film. But what brought the film down for me was the ending and how it concluded. And that's why I give Glass a B. I recommend Glass if you are a fan of Unbreakable and Split. And as always, don't forget your popcorn. Until next time, from Mr. U to you, stay tuned.